Hello and welcome to Late Night Creatures. Late Night Creatures number 39. As this is an odd numbered episode, that means that we are going to be doing an animation today, which is great. Hello everyone. I actually have an idea, kinda, for this animation for this week. And I'm thinking maybe we start off, hear me out here. Oh, I messed up. But we start off here with a little pipe. I had this idea earlier to do a nice drippy boy on this episode of Late Night Creatures. Kind of just draw a monster dripping out of this pipe here. I think it'll work great. But that said, I don't think I've actually drawn a dripping monster before. So I could be thinking it's gonna go great, or well, fine, but it's really gonna go really bad. I don't know. That's the whole point of this show is seeing what we can do. I chugged a whole Pepsi, so I'm a little jeez. A little gassed in my throat area. Let's get right into the drawing. I've been talking too much. So we have to start off with the basic, I suppose, just sort of lump that we can work off of. So I think that's a good spot to go from. And then from there, I think we can move on. Okay. So I think that maybe we should start off for this drawing with just the basic shape of this drip. This is all going to be straightforward animation. No, not going to really make any keyframes for this. Going to freehand it and see how it works out. Maybe put in some more frames in as we go. But as of now, all I really want is a very nice long drip to drip down onto the floor area, whatever you would call the ground here in this empty white void. I don't know if you'd call an empty white void a floor because we don't have anything there to represent that it is a floor or that it isn't. So it's hard to say. That said, I'm going to just make up a spot where the floor drops. I could just quickly draw one line and make a line separating floor from wall, but yeah, this is more fun. So, why not? So we have this basic drip shape. Let me just make sure that's very fast. I'm gonna move these around a bit. Now we can use these, like I said, workshop stuff. Use them as needed. So now we can bring everything. You can't see how I'm messing with my frames right now. I'm just bringing everything to where I can put in some frames in between these, put in some in-betweens, as they're called, and make that move slower, but still look fluid and liquidy, which is the look that we want. One thing I've noticed is that these animation episodes are a lot more informative and kind of educational than the usual Late Night Creatures episodes. I don't know. They still have that awful loose me drawing live feel to them, but they carry a little more weight, I think, which is interesting because that means that you, as the viewing audience, are getting silly monsters 1 week, and then, in essence, a brief chat about animation the next week. Let's see how that looks. I think that's good. We could probably slow it down a bit more. Actually, I'm going to try and do that. So here we go again. I'm scooting all these frames around that you can't see. simply because they, ooh, I messed stuff up. Simply because they clutter up what you guys would all be looking at. And so I don't want you guys to be focusing on stuff other than the drawing. That's why I have the whole show formatted to where you can't see any of my user interface. Can't see any of my UI. So that you can just enjoy yourself, look at the drawing, and not have to worry about, you know, what stuff I'm using. That said, since you can't see that type of stuff, if people who are in the chat ever have any questions about what I'm using as far as brushes or anything like that, you can always feel free to ask me either in live on stream or in the comments if you're watching this after it's archived. It's really up to you. This drip is being a little more problematic just because I want to make it slow. It needs to be thicker, more viscous. I think it's less viscous. Is the correct terminology. It's been a while since I've done physics or chemistry. Anywho, doesn't matter. Unimportant to my current situation. I just need it to be a thicker liquid. I need it to be honey and not Coke. As we all know, Coke is a very thin liquid. At least I always consider it as such. People might tell you it's heavy because of the syrup, but I disagree. It's very thin because it has all the carbonation, and all those bubbles make it really light. You're essentially just drinking air. Surprise. Your Coke's just air. Just gross off. Well, not gross. Coke is fine. Pepsi's better, but Coke is fine. It's just, you know, fine air water. And there we go. That's about the thick drippiness that I'm looking for. So now, moving on from there, I'm going to make it to where our guy starts to sort of, he's gonna, basically, it's gonna expand at the bottom. I was gonna try and say something, I think I was gonna say pillow out, and that is not a thing that people say. But it's going to get thicker at the bottom as the liquid moves and runs, and it's going to get a thin space in the, ooh, that's not the type of line I need. It's going to get a thin space in the middle that'll get larger as it moves down till eventually it'll break and that piece will fall on its own. I didn't make that any larger. I just completely traced that, which is not what I needed to do. There we go. So now we have that very nice, almost completely thin. And I'm going to take it, make it a single line. I'm going to lose the space since I'm using a thick brush. I'm going to lose the space there. And now we'll make our break. So we'll have 2 points on either side. And I think that this drip up top has very much lost its integrity. But that's okay. I don't think it's lost its integrity in a bad way, but it has lost its integrity. That's not a, you know, it's fine, whatever. It's, you get what I'm saying, hopefully. And if not, well, you know, be better. And that's gonna just drip and splat. Nice and fast. Hard and fast onto the ground. And that's going to continue to sort of get a bit of recoil from that break. All right. I think this is almost where I'd like it to be. Need to make that drip a little more. Take it again. All right. We're almost finished with the primary drip. So we can maybe start, that is very angular. We are almost done with the primary drip, as we will call it. Very good. It's very nice. There is our dripulon. So let's see how that looks, see if I need to add in some more frames. It's very possible that I'm going to. Nope, I think that looks, for 10 minutes, I think that looks pretty good. There it is. Hey, hey, do look at that. I think that looks good. I think it's a nice, thick, gross, awful drip. That very lush looks like it could be organic matter. Which means now we can have fun, and now that our base is done, we can start adding some details onto it. So as far as a face goes, I'm going to start with eyes, because they are going to be I think the easier of the things to deal with. I'm saying that, of course, very loosely, because I've, again, never drawn a drip with a face before. So who knows what's really going to happen, because I know I don't. Okay, so I think it's kind of about, I think the thing we got to keep in mind is, okay, I think that's already too a little far gone there. So yeah, and then we just basically, I'm trying to see how far down, well, that's somewhat substantial, that drip is moving, so that I can gauge how far to drop the eyes based on that. That makes sense. You know? I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's kind of the system that I'm using. These eyes are going kind of wherever they want. They are much more of a problem than I anticipated them to be. Now I think they can more or less stay there. For the rest of the time, the eyes can stay there until we get to drip territory. At which point, you know, like where it drips off. Not this entire thing is a drip, but the break territory. Once we get to the break, we can then make the decision on what to really do with the eyes. Because we're on our way to there now. Wait, did I? Right. There it is. Okay. I lost my place. I lost my place in my structure. See, I mentioned it the last time I did one of these. Is, again, because I have all my UI hidden, my animation timeline that shows me what frames and what layer I'm working on is very small, much smaller than I usually work with it at. And so I have to work extra hard. Maybe we'll make it more of a squint when that break happens. So maybe if we go back here, and we start that squint, expands there, then we bring it sort of back in there. And then instead of being sort of this like angular, kind of angry face we've seen, maybe he calms down and he starts to recoil, and he becomes a new man. I messed up. We were done with it. Okay, that's weird that something like that happened. I don't know what happened there. That's all right. It's all right to not know when weird things happen, as long as you know how to fix them. So let's see how those eyes look. Okay, very interesting. That's odd. Oh, I see the problem. Yeah, I did a weird thing. That's the issue. The issue is I did a weird thing, guys. I did a weird. Alright, let's look at these eyes now that I've done with the weird. Okay. I don't mind it. It could be better, but for our purposes now, I don't mind it. Maybe if I go in, it's that, I think it's the wink really is what's bothering me. So I think maybe if I go in and give it maybe some more time, So then this, I give it some closing time. Maybe that'll make it better. I think that wink is too fast. Okay, yeah. That looks about, yeah, that looks how I want it. That's good. We did it. It's a good time. Okay, so now we have our drip done. Our drip is finished, and our eyes are finished. So, Peter, I hear you asking, what's the next step? You know? Well, the next step is, of course, a mouth. It's a wonderful mouth. As all creatures, this one needs a mouth. So it's mouth time. I think maybe we just sort of have a little of this mouth. Now the mouth is going to be easier because I'm going to bring it all the way down to the end. I've decided. And so as it drips, I always start from the same place, end in the same place, so the mouth is consistent, and the mouth is going to be what stretches with the drip, with its body. The mouth is going to stretch with its body and move with its body so that we can very effectively have some semblance of consistency with the mouth while still maintaining this whole drip composure. So our little dripman is basically going to become this screaming mask as it falls down to become its new self. And who knows? The thing is, I don't know what to do with the mouth when we get to the break. Is my problem. Because I made this decision, and then I keep forgetting that we made that very fun break. It's very fun. I really like it. It looks good, but I don't know what to do with the mouth there. What that mouth do? That's a bad joke, but I don't know what to do with the mouth at that point. So, gosh, what should I do with the mouth? There's really just two options. Option one is I have the mouth go into the drip, kind of like this. But you see, I don't really like that, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to actually make the mouth, recoil 2 with the break. And so it looks a lot like a wince when it breaks off, because that's a piece of his body breaking there. And so I'm basically going to have the mouth become smaller and smaller until this one, where it'll become like a big circle, because he's saying ow. And then we will kind of bring it back up to hello, welcome. We're drawing a drippy man. Then we'll bring it kind of back up to where it needs to be, right here. And I think that was the best thing we could have done with the mouse. So let's see how that looks. Okay, it's not reading too well. Actually, let me watch it again. I gotta get a good look. It's kind of hard to take in the whole thing at once, just because it's a very long animation. I think that's good. I think that's good. So now I'm gonna just throw in some more fun details, because we have the time to throw in more fun details. But before I throw in more fun details, I need to finish this pipe. So let me do that real quick. Let's see if that overlaps anything. It does, because of course it does. Why wouldn't it? Okay, so before we add in fun details, I have to do something less fun. which is I'm gonna for one of the it's a rare thing to happen on late night creatures. I'm gonna color. Our animated mongrel, our little booger creature, so that well, if I can do it well, I'm gonna color our creature so that it can overlap the new pipe and still be coherent and not look bad. So here we go. Everyone strap in. Welcome to the wonderful world of coloring animations where you just color. My wonderful Phil Bucket and I'm not going to make sure I get every nook and cranny because we don't have time for that. But it's basically just going to be making sure that everything is a general gross, awful green. So don't call me out. You're like, there's the white spot still there. I'm aware that there are going to be white spots still. I do not have the patience or energy or really time to effectively deal with the white spots in this color job. So I can only do my best. And in order to really do my best and add in these extra details I want to add in, I have to really quick go in and color this whole thing. Which is not, it's honestly, it's not desirable. I wish there was a shortcut to where I didn't have to, but there is not a shortcut to where I don't have to. There is only a long cut. What I'm doing right now, if you can believe it, is actually the shortcut. This is the thing that is going to make things easier. Because the other option is I had to go and make that back part of the pipe an animation layer instead of a normal drawing layer, and then I have to go along the animation and then erase and draw in the pipe over and over again, and then erase any part where it overlaps the creature. And that would take a lot more time. And if I wasn't on a 30-minute time limit, which is self-imposed, but if it wasn't on a 30-minute time limit, I would gladly take the time to do that so that coloring is, I don't have to work with layers as much when I color. Yeah, there he is. Awesome. So now we've fixed that issue. So now, since I'm on the colored layer, I'm just going to add in these details in color. Since we've already made this decision to use colors, well, I've made this decision. It wasn't really a group decision. And I'm sorry I left you guys out of that decision-making process. But I'm just going to, real quick, draw in some little splatters where this breaks off. And we're just going to do these in color to make my life and this viewing experience a little sweeter. So I'm just going to, real quick, draw in these little splatters. It's going to be very nice. They're going to look fantastic. I have complete confidence. If there's one thing I can draw, it's splatters. It's one of the few areas when it comes to animation that I really excel at, is drawing little splatters. Don't know why. It's probably because they're simple. You just draw a water drop going in an arc and becoming smaller and smaller each frame. You don't have to be consistent because it's a very organic thing, and so it doesn't require all that much effort. And this is actually going, these splatters are going past the normal animation, and so that actually increases the runtime of our animation. And look, and then it really makes that break pop. And let me get a far back look. I think that honestly, this is gonna sound weird because I know they're just tiny splatters, but that really helped tie the animation together. I think as a whole, I think that really helped the the whole of the animation there. I mean, I'm trying to get it to where you guys can see it really well. I really do think that because it really makes that pop, which makes those expressions pop, which makes everything pop. So I think it's very good, very good time. I'm sorry, I'm a little mesmerized by it. Okay, so what else can we add? There's got to be something else, you know? There's got to be something else. Well, I guess we could go in under this and closing all that out real quick. Just color in the back of this pipe, maybe a dark purple, since we're doing colors this episode, I guess. Color that in a dark purple. Throw everything back in. So now we have this this gross boy being animated. You can really see that. I like it. I like it a lot, actually. I was worried going through that it was always missing something. Those splatters are really what sold it. That's shocking. Usually those are just little cursory details. I don't know if that's the right word. Usually those are just little details that while they add to it, they don't make it, but this time they made it. So I'm proud of them. They did a good job. They really sold it. And let's see. And you know what? Just for fun, let's make this a little more complete looking. Add in some rough old scaffolding type stuff to kind of make this look like a make it look like something. Make it look older, kind of maybe even like a post-apocalyptic type of feel to this area that this gross thing is sliding out of. And you know what? For kicks and giggles, let's go ahead and do it. Bam. Fill it in with let's see. We'll take this same purple. Take this same purple here. Fill it in. And that should give us... That's good. But you know what? One more thing. This is actually a somewhat complete, not even just animation, but just a somewhat complete drawing. Let me just grab this real quick. That's not exactly what I want. Let's see. Where is... That might work. Let me change a couple things about that right there. And now, here we go. We're about to do it. Yes. There we go. So, I think yeah. Awesome. So this has been the Drippy Boy. I don't know what his name is. Call him Drippy Boy, because why not? We had Pill Boy, was our first animated one. I think I called the other one Little Potato Boy. All of the animated creatures are just going to be something boy, I suppose. That said, thank you so much for joining me this very late night for another wonderful episode of Late Night Creatures. Episode 40 is the next episode. That's a somewhat big number. I mean, it's a digit of 5. Not a digit. What word am I thinking of? It's a multiple of 5. And those are important for a lot of people. So it's going to be exactly the same. I'm not going to do anything special for 40. It's a weird thing to do something special for. But you better believe that it's going to be more silly creatures, and it's not going to be animation for that one. 41 will be. You get the drill by now, I assume. So again, thank you so much for joining me and tuning in to Late Night Creatures every week. I'll see y'all next week. Have a good night. Bye.